Hi and welcome to The Item. Today I'm joined by Anna McKay, who is the founder and CEO of Zeez Sleep. So welcome Anna, how are you?
I'm very well.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. And you've got this amazing product, the Zeez Sleep Pebble, which it seems really interesting. But first of all, let's talk about your company.
Okay.
Why you created it, what was your inspiration?
The reason that we decided to work with sleep was that poor sleep isn't regarded as a medical problem.
No.
Some of us who experience it might think that it's the worst problem that could actually happen to us, but it's not regarded as medical. And that meant that we were free to work on it without having teams of doctors, without being in an environment that we couldn't fund.
Yeah, sure.
So I was personally a very bad insomniac. Actually, that didn't have anything to do with the reason that we picked sleep. We did that for pragmatic reasons. And I think that, like so many people, I had given up on sleep. Right. I thought I was a completely lost case.
Yeah.
Actually, now thinking back, that makes me sad. Because I think a lot of people also think that they're lost cases and there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah.
Perhaps have invested an awful lot of time and money trying to make their sleep better. And in fact, there are things that we can do, of which the Zeez is one, that can improve our sleep. So we started working on the Zeez. We started working on sleep technology. Yes. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew that we could copy certain frequencies of the brain. Steve had already done that in relation to migraine. Yeah. And I think I should take a step back and tell you how he got to his realizations. Is that okay? Yeah,
sure.
Okay, so Steve, back in 1979, as a young man still in his 20s, was IBM's top hardware engineer.
Right, okay.
So this was a time when there were not yet any personal computers, and he was working on the development of personal computers.
Right, okay. So very intelligent guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a smart chap, yes. And he had an accident, actually very close to here. So he was driving his Ford Capri, and a pilot who'd flown back from America and hadn't had any sleep for almost 60 hours fell asleep at the wheel and ploughed into him. Wrong side of the road. So he had 23 fractures and had lost 4 pints of blood, died 4 times. And IBM were amazing. They put a lot of money into making him better and employed a crack team. And I think it was a very, very hard experience. He had a lot of head injury, hemiplegic migraine, so he was collapsing, people leaving him in the street thinking he was drunk. It was a long, slow process, and he came out of hospital with wounds that still wouldn't heal, and with the migraines. And a comment had been dropped during his treatment. 2 things were relevant. One was that a comment was dropped during his treatment by Frank Clifford Rose, who was the Queen's surgeon. And Frank Clifford Rose said, making conversation with him, the brain is like a computer. That was the first thing. And the second thing was that when he was sent home with a giant electric coil around his leg, which was a treatment being experimented on at that time in order to help wound healing.
Oh, okay.
So he put the 2 things together, and he said it was like a penny dropped. He thought, well, if the doctors can't fix me, I know about computers, maybe I can fix me.
Right, yeah.
And then IBM gave him a computer. So this is before they exist, this is one of the first to be made. They gave him a computer, and somehow he got an EEG machine and then built himself more computers, more EEG machines, started measuring his own brain, and discovered that there were certain frequencies generated in the brain that his brain wasn't generating because of the damage that he endured. And his thought was, well, if I could put those back in, if I could generate those frequencies, maybe my brain would pick them up and it would have an effect on the migraines. And that's exactly what he did.
Right, okay.
Okay. Not doing it in the same way that we're doing now. not at such low power, but he managed to stop his own migraines and then developed a migraine device.
Right, so that's how he initially started with the...
That's how he started, yeah, and that was his first commercial product.
Right, okay.
So we took it on from there, but we took it on with sleep.
Yeah, what year was that roughly?
We actually started talking to each other in 2014.
Right, okay.
And by about 2016 we had early prototypes, which consisted of circuit boards inside socks. They were not elegant. Yeah. And we started testing at that point and did a huge amount of testing. Actually, we got the tech right quite quickly, but the manufacturing process has been really tough.
Right.
Because it's hard to make a device that is so low power. It challenges modern manufacturing processes.
Yeah.
We can't use heat or power once our manufacturer has reached a certain point.
Right.
And that is difficult in a modern electronics factory.
Yeah, yeah.
The current form of the Zeez, which actually comes off a production line now, is injection molded, and that's we can reproduce that in numbers. But initially, the first devices, the electronics were made in a factory, but the cases were actually molded by me in my kitchen using my kitchen oven
really?
to cure the devices. Absolutely, absolutely. And they took 4.5 hours to make each one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I got tired and forgot the oven timer and everything would be ruined.
Right.
So it was very much hands-on. How are we going to make this thing? How are we going to overcome those challenges?
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, I have a background of working with inventors. So, I wanted to get us to the point where we really had devices that we could show to people that worked in number, so that we had some credibility talking about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So now we've, moving forward, we're now at the stage where we have, proper manufacture.
Yeah.
And we have probably low thousands of people using it.
Yeah.
I would say probably under 2,000, but we're growing fast right now.
Yeah, yeah. So when did you actually launch the product?
Yeah, we launched it in October 2018, so 3 years ago. And I think I would have gone on testing for longer and longer and longer because I wanted perfection.
Yeah, sure.
That wouldn't have been a good move. What happened was that in 2018 there was the first sleep show worldwide, first Expo concentrating on sleep, and I felt that we needed to be there.
Absolutely, an ideal opportunity to get your name out there for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we started to sell the product on sale or return.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And support people in using this kind of device.
Yeah.
Because it is demanding in some ways. It's easy to use, and in order for the brain to operate properly, it needs certain things.
Yeah.
It needs the right nutrients, for example.
Yes.
So we found that we were educating people in that, and our results were extraordinary. Mostly with people who couldn't sleep, but had a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, or a whole life of not sleeping well. We got them to sleep. As far as we ask for feedback, we get a lot of feedback.
Yeah.
It looks like it's working for a very, very high percentage of people.
Okay. So what's the sort of trial-based time? When
we suggest that people try it for 6 weeks.
Right. Okay.
So sometimes, if you've got a long-standing sleep issue, it can take that long.
Yeah.
Especially, I think it takes longest where people have some kind of PTSD or some reason why their amygdala is kicking in. So the amygdala is the centre of the brain which deals with our fight or flight response.
Yes, yes.
If we have a good reason, or we had historically a good reason for being alert, then it can be quite hard to unlearn that pattern.
Yes, yes.
So we found that with people, for instance, who have had wartime experiences or who've had a history of sexual abuse as children.
Yeah.
It's difficult it takes longer to undo that, and we get there. We still get there.
Yeah.
So today we are well, right now is actually a very exciting time for us because not only have we got our manufacture right, which is a recent phenomenon that, everything, we're happy with everything.
Brilliant.
But also we've had some interesting publicity.
Yes.
So more people are learning about us, which gives us more freedom to do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So we're basically looking at how we develop commercially.
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy that we've got the ordinary consumer base online.
Yeah.
And I want, this is a product that can make a big difference.
Okay.